but his contributions to electromagnetism are real and recognized in the world of physics. Like I said, there's a unit of electromagnetism named after him.
Logic yields to innovation in this phenomenal process. Fossil fuels or green energy do not power its functioning. Instead, pure motion drives its action. Functioning in secret determination, it leaves an indelible mark on our collective history. Among countless pioneers who shaped human progress, one such visionary is distinct: Nikola Tesla. His relentless enthusiasm for free energy caused wonder and terror for mankind. His own work was suppressed, yet always, the hope that somewhere, someone has cracked his code is present. There is a hidden magnum opus re-emerging, not in sanitized science labs, but in simple workshops. The time has come for the release of the Liberty Engine 2.0, a revolutionary electromagnetic innovation that will irrevocably alter man's relationship to power. It is pure fantasy, but it is a reality today and functions as it was meant to. But what if that dream, once dismissed as delusion, was never truly lost? What if the blueprint still breathes, and Tesla's invisible current is stirring once again, not in theory, but in raw working form? Tesla's forgotten vision. Nikola Tesla had a vision of a future era when the energy provided by electricity was to be available to humanity in a manner as easy and as natural as the air we breathe, delivered to us free of charge by nature. Towards the end of the 19th century, he designed an outstanding and audacious plan for a revolutionary global infrastructure that aimed to fundamentally alter the very character of the method by which electrical power was being distributed on the Earth. His utopian and visionary mind clearly envisions a dramatic situation in which an electric current would flow with ease through the very air itself, challenging conventional wisdom and going well beyond what was considered possible up to then. His revolutionary new system would entirely eradicate the cumbersome limitations that have for so long been an integral part of conventional copper wiring, thus eliminating the heavy transmission lines and the expensive billing machinery that usually goes with such an infrastructure. Electricity instead would be transmitted easily through the air, making it accessible to anyone, anywhere, and providing unhindered access, independent of geographical or financial limitations. This revolutionary concept essentially turned the traditional bases of the electrical industry on their head, a radical dream that carried with it the tremendous potential of extending the use of power to every person and reshaping the very fabric of modern existence as we know it. In the very midst of the landscape stood the colossal and breathtaking Wardenclyffe Cliff Tower, overshadowing the Long Island skyline with its gigantic stature. Unlike what most people thought, Tesla's lab was not just a communication system for transmitting signals, but much more than that. It represented something much greater and revolutionary. The tower represented his eternal quest for energy liberation, and it was an incredible engineering work of art that would unleash the mysteries of wireless power transmission and finally realize his unmatched and visionary goals. But this most wondrous journey toward a revolutionary new era of electrical distribution was suddenly and unexpectedly cut short. Financial investors, who had at first been so enthusiastic, pulled their vital support as the actual scope of the enterprise and the lofty nature of its aims became unmistakably apparent. The interests of mighty and established industry leaders became more and more obsessed with the long-term ramifications of providing free electricity, as they came to see the massive destruction that such a revolution would wreak on their profitable business schemes and their well-guarded profit margins. The scientific community, under intense pressure from corporate interests, started to turn away from the revolutionary research of Nikola Tesla. As a result of this shift, he increasingly became isolated and was considered an eccentric scientist, a man whose keen imagination had lost touch with the reality of the world around him. The cost of this isolation was catastrophic and far-reaching. The massive Wardenclyffe Tower, which had reflected the limitless potential of humanity, was torn down into shreds. Tesla's piercing notes and accurate diagrams appeared to get lost in the pages of history under some sort of magic spell, leaving behind shreds of his revolutionary work. Yet, despite the seeming obvious and complete failure of his grand venture, the atmosphere was still charged with intrigue as rumors persisted. It was rumored that the lost plans contained within them the actual key to accessing nearly limitless sources of clean energy. This rumor went on to surmise that such a key was actively concealed by powerful vested interests who would be ruined if such a revolutionary advance were to become public knowledge. To this day, all the speculations about Tesla's unfinished projects and works are a fountain of fascination that continues to tantalize numerous generations of artists from all walks of life. The fascination is not just among artists. Visionary engineers, genius scientists, and dedicated researchers from around the globe still remain significantly interested in the pure brilliance of his creative mind and the revolutionary concepts he conceived. These individuals still do their best to duplicate and comprehend the fundamental assumptions upon which Tesla's revolutionary conclusions were arrived at, all the while maintaining an unfaltering hope that within his underlying assumptions lie deep and latent truths waiting to be discovered. At this moment, a team of highly committed and passionate scientists dares to announce that they have achieved a phenomenal breakthrough in creating a revolutionary device that is a faithful manifestation of the fundamental essence of Nikola Tesla's original design for energy. Although the Liberty Engine 2.0 may not reach the same towering level as the original, it continues to possess the same revolutionary and transformative vision that Tesla originally had. This groundbreaking technology echoes the relentless quest for human ingenuity, representing our unstoppable quest for free and clean forms of electrical energy that are independent of conventional grid systems. Instead of trying to break or circumvent the established laws of physics, it seeks to find and thoroughly investigate the far boundaries of what is theoretically possible within the framework of our present scientific knowledge. By means of this cautious and restrained testing of the laws governing electromagnetism, the device may well unlock a revolutionary model for electricity generation, grounded not in the realm of science fiction, but in painstakingly engineered electromagnetic resonance patterns and precisely calibrated kinetic motion. It doesn't look like much at first, but inside this unassuming frame, something extraordinary hums to life. Could this be the quiet machine that rewrites everything we know about energy? The Liberty Engine 2.0. The Liberty Engine 2.0 introduces itself to the world with an air of modest humility that is truly remarkable. Upon first glance, an observer might easily be misled into thinking that its straightforward and simple appearance hides something less than advanced technology. It may appear to be nothing more than a collection of meticulously engineered components. This assembly features an intricately designed series of coils, a thoughtfully crafted rotor, high-capacity magnets that are optimized for performance, and wires that have been strategically placed for efficiency. However, beneath this plain-looking exterior lies an extraordinary engineering marvel that has the potential to leave anyone who encounters it in a state of confusion regarding their standard expectations. Instead of trying to impress or intimidate anyone with unnecessarily elaborate and intricate designs, the Liberty Engine 2.0 demonstrates a pure and relentless dedication to performance enhancement and optimization. At its most basic and rudimentary level, this genuinely revolutionary machine can be defined as a standalone electrical generator independent of all external energy sources. The instant this machine is turned on, it goes into an endless cycle of operation that is smooth and efficient. The rotor, one of the most integral parts of the system, spins ceaselessly and perpetually, producing electricity using the widely known principles of electromagnetic induction, in direct contrast to conventional power generation devices that are normally dependent on fossil fuels, solar panels, or bank batteries for energy supply. The groundbreaking Liberty Engine 2.0 generates its energy from raw mechanical motion directly without any reliance on external energy sources. Particularly, the technology is leveraging the kinetic energy produced by a highly engineered rotor, carefully designed and packed with N52-grade neodymium permanent magnets. These magnets are recognized as being some of the strongest commercially produced magnetic materials available on the planet. With such high-quality magnets spinning in conjunction with precision-wound microwave transformer coils, this system effectively produces alternating current AC electricity with a very high rate of efficiency. This remarkable process takes advantage of the same fundamental principles implemented by huge industrial power plants located throughout the world. The thing that most impresses and draws the eye, though, is not so much its cutting-edge technology, but its incredible practicality. This high-tech device simply fits itself into the space an ordinary suburban garage has to offer without fuss. The rotor itself stands as a testament to wonders in the modern art of metallurgy, having been machined with great precision and care from an innovative, specially formulated alloy of silver and aluminium. This careful and intentional selection of materials is critical to the functioning of the rotor. It serves to minimize the occurrence of eddy currents, a delicate but significant source of energy loss that arises when metal components engage with magnetic fields in particular situations. Through careful selection of a wide variety of such materials, the diligent development team has been able to effectively implement major improvements in the overall system efficiency, while making sure that no compromises are made in terms of the long-term stability and operating steadiness of the system. The uniquely designed frame is itself a testament to superior craftsmanship, with each coil meticulously and accurately mounted into protective resin encasements, ensuring functionality and durability. The rotor is designed with perfect centricity, and every slot and bearing frame undergoes rigorous balancing procedures in an attempt to erase the potentially obtrusive vibrations that might interfere with the highly streamlined energy transfer procedures. The starter mechanism is also reduced to pure simplicity, leveraging the pull-start mechanism of the traditional small engines. Completely battery-free and switch-free, the mechanism is based purely on raw kinetic energy conversion principles. Once switched on, the engine is kept at a steady 400 revolutions per minute, continuously producing 230 volts AC power, exactly what the European standard domestic voltage used throughout all of Europe and the majority of Asia demands. At its highest rated capacity, it produces a massive 20,000 watts, enough to energize anything from computer systems and workshop equipment to water pumps and other high-power appliances. Most remarkable of all, during operation, the engine continuously generates electricity at a steady rate without interruption, as long as the rotor is rotating. This steady and uninterrupted flow of electrical energy, in effect, generates a power source that is virtually self-sustaining and can operate by itself without any assistance from external sources. However, maybe the most astounding feature of this product is not to be located in the hardware itself, but in its incredibly straightforward design. There are literally no hidden compartments, no rare earth elements of elusive origin used in its manufacture, and definitely no mysterious proprietary technologies at work. Instead, there's a genius convergence of innovations in engineering coupled with impeccably matched components. The aesthetics of the device are so breathtakingly gorgeous that they can hardly be believed until one sees it go to work in practical applications in real-life situations. This observation leads us nicely into our final section of research, in which we examine more closely the real-world uses and actual effects of this incredible technology. How it works. The Liberty Engine 2.0 represents an innovative breakthrough in the field of renewable energy production. Rather than relying upon conventional means of energy, this breakthrough system demonstrates the manner in which mechanical energy can be transferred into electricity via an extremely advanced feedback mechanism. The mechanism begins with the initiation of the system through an exceptionally straightforward and effective initiation process. Similar to traditional lawnmowers, the engine requires a primary manual stimulus, a simple pull-start mechanism that triggers the entire process. The first step serves as the stimulus for a complex series of interactions that ultimately lead to ongoing power creation. At the heart of this revolutionary design is a carefully crafted rotor assembly. This cylindrical component houses robust neodymium magnets, tactically located in its core structure. These rare earth magnets possess better magnetic qualities that play a significant role in the subsequent electromagnetic induction process. An inventive arrangement of recycled transformer coils houses the rotor, meticulously rescued from everyday home appliances and rewound to exacting specifications. Besides minimizing wastage by reusing existing technology, This also optimizes electromagnetic coupling between rotating magnets and fixed coils. As the rotor begins its rotating movement, it creates a dynamic relationship with the transformer coils that surround it. According to Faraday's fundamental law of electromagnetic induction, the movement of magnets in close proximity to conductive coils causes the generation of an electric current. This is due to the fact that the lines of varying magnetic flux cut the coil windings, resulting in electromotive force, EMF, being induced in the conductor. The current generator possesses a two-path path, carrying out two significant roles simultaneously. A portion of the voltage is directed to the output terminals of the engine, where it's translated into electrical energy that can be used. However, the truly ingenious aspect of this design lies in the secondary pathway, where a carefully controlled quantity of this electrical energy is returned to the motor system itself. This deliberate redirection of electrical power is the closed-loop feedback system that engineers speak of. The feedback loop back to energy serves the function of maintaining the rotor in continual rotation, essentially transforming the initial manual input into an automatic cycle of operation. This ingenious solution eliminates any external power inputs once the system is at peak operating efficiency. The Liberty Engine 2.0 derives its high efficiency from this self-sustaining operation. Once started manually for the first time, the system is in perpetual motion, developing its operating energy solely from its own rotational kinetic energy. Provided that mechanical components continue moving and electromagnetic coupling is not broken, the engine can still produce electrical output power. This is an impressive work of engineering and a testament to the strength of sustained research in core physical principles for the advancement of innovative ways of producing sustainable energy. Liberty Engine 2.0 is a culmination of human strengths in how basic mechanisms, well researched and put into action, can lead to paradigmatic shifts in generating power and sustainability. But a machine is only as brilliant as the minds behind it. Just as the Liberty Engine challenged the laws of conventional energy, its creators dared to challenge the very core of motor design. What they discovered didn't just solve an old problem, it flipped the whole equation. The genius. The visionary engineering group, known for their innovative methods, bravely set out on a high-risk project with the ambitious aim of upending the conventional design of motors as we have them today. Their brilliant and trailblazing achievement began with the meticulous design of an ultra-sophisticated rotor system that utilized a specially designed aluminium-silver composite substance with qualities specially engineered for best performance. By successfully achieving this key goal, they effectively managed to eliminate the troublesome and often disruptive electromagnetic effect, commonly referred to as Foucault eddy currents, which are prevalent in conventional designs. These undesirable electrical loops had been wasting precious energy sources continuously, creating enormous inefficiencies while simultaneously generating an excessive amount of heat output that was unwanted and counterproductive. Through a combination of exact engineering techniques and careful optimization measures, the scientists were able to achieve a considerable reduction in internal electrical resistance with a concurrent integration of new approaches in energy conservation. As a direct consequence of these breakthrough innovations, the revolutionary engine was able to exhibit unmatched efficiency, conserving almost its entire output power satisfactorily. Further, the engineers made the daring move to depart from established wisdom by doing away altogether with the conventional mechanical components that had been entrenched for so long as industry standards, thereby setting a new standard in engine design. Gone were the cumbersome and heavy pulleys and belts that had been the hallmark of traditional generator systems for so many generations. In their stead was a new and revolutionary approach, a direct drive system that shattered the inefficiencies and power losses of rubber components and gear trains. This radical departure in design philosophy yielded spectacular dividends. The simple reduction in mechanical friction provided an equivalent saving in energy lost. Every component, large or small, simple or complex, was carefully chosen with but a single target in mind: complete independence of operation. The determination of the engineering personnel to follow this vision was the driving force behind every choice on the path to its realization. the research team made some quite astounding assertions regarding their breakthrough product, assertions that certainly needed to be very carefully and rigorously substantiated in order to be believed. In their own words, the system had one amazing feature. It had absolutely no secret power sources of any kind. There were no hidden batteries concealed in the base, nor were there any hidden cells secreted inside the socket assemblies. To effectively substantiate these bold and astounding assertions, the team embarked on an unparalleled exercise in transparency that was not often practiced in the industry. They performed an exhaustive disassembly procedure, carefully documenting every step of the way via an unedited video that catalogued their efforts. The video carefully recorded each and every detail of the demolition process, exposing each of the complicated and multifaceted elements therein to perfection without failure or exception. The audience was able to fully inspect each conductor, explore the details of each coil direction, and analyze each makeup component in uninterrupted detail, all of which enabled a comprehensive understanding. For further ultimate accessibility and convenience, the group graciously provided an open link to this documentation as part of the supporting resources, making it easily accessible to anyone who was interested. One of the most surprising things about this technological advance came during practical testing. Unlike the typical experimental devices that are only able to power mere LED lights or small fans, this incredible engine showed phenomenal abilities. It energized complex Hydra systems, high-end iMacs, industrial-grade heavy-duty drills, industrial-grade heavy-duty grinders, and large water pumps, running continuously without a break. All these devices at once. The entire system was run completely off-grid, with it generating power exclusively from its own resources and having no outside power supplies whatsoever. The fact that there was no additional wiring worked to provide a very tidy and visually pleasing installation, with the engine serving as the only power source for the entire system. Although it is true that there are individuals within the engineering community who might doubt or be unbelieving of these claims, the fact remains that this device has never sought to contradict or oppose the fundamental laws of physics. Instead of trying to function in a manner that contradicts the established limits of the physical laws as they are known, the engineers in question were simply ingenious in their approach. They were able to cleverly exploit and utilize well-known phenomena such as magnetic momentum, low-resistance pathways, and the precision of circuit topology design to achieve their goals. This allowed the system to be operated continuously, all while remaining well within comfortably understood limits and boundaries of known physical laws. By carefully and purposely optimizing these various parameters, the team was able to reach a point of amazing efficiency and reliability that was quite impressive in their design overall. It's not infinite energy. The Liberty Engine 2.0 is the finest product of human ingenuity in green power technology, representing a milestone toward the quest for perpetual power generation. Rather than an unlimited energy source, it is the closest finite imitation to autonomous power generation ever achieved by technological innovation. With rigorous scientific tests and meticulous engineering, this groundbreaking device has been shown to be viable for practical application under rigorous scientific validation. But bold claims mean nothing without proof. So how do you test a machine that defies the very grid it's designed to escape? You take it off the map. Literally. What happened when the Liberty engine was pushed into total isolation? Comprehensive Field Validation Protocol. During the initial open-air experimentation period, the experimenters established a highly advanced test facility wherein there was complete isolation from typical power infrastructure in a geographically isolated area chosen because of the absence of proximity to any available electrical delivery infrastructure. The test facility featured a large collection of monitoring equipment and data acquisition systems. Under-power cables and redundant power supplies were taken out to allow for clean test conditions, allowing scientists to obtain unbiased data on the engine's ability to run on its own. A state-of-the-art cinematographic recording unit was employed to capture all aspects of the test process, operating continuously without interruption or editorial influence. This unobstructed observation record was a fundamental element of the validation process, enabling irrefutable evidence of the level of operation of the engine. Performance test and device integration. The experimental setup involved a broad range of industrial-class appliances selected specifically to subject the engine's performance to various conditions of loads. The test equipment included a power-saving Apple iMac display unit with a 27-inch screen diameter, along with a range of heavy-duty power appliances, including an electric drill as well as grinding equipment. A high-power hydraulic water pump system was also included in the test setup to evaluate the performance of the engine in coping with heavy mechanical loads. Instead of using only light consumer electronics, the testing procedure used only industrial-grade equipment with high power consumption requirements. Under controlled operation, all the equipment was controlled systematically by the researchers for the power distribution system while carefully observing and noting the engine response characteristics. The outcome revealed consistently the superior performance characteristics of the Liberty Engine 2.0 as it supported the complete power requirements of all the equipment plugged in without exhibiting any apparent weakening of operating stability. Technical performance parameters and operating characteristics. Quantitative evaluation revealed some impressive performance parameters that make this new power generation system stand out from conventional technologies. Voltage stability was highly stable with a very precise output of 230 volts throughout the duration of test runs. Besides, the rotational speed of the primary drive mechanism was consistently stabilized at 1/400 revolutions per minute, being the ideal operating level to ensure maximal efficiency. This highly calibrated rate of rotation was expressed in the ideal harmonic resonance point, enabling the system to enjoy a symbiotic equilibrium between power generation and self-sustenance. The equilibrium, thus attained, enabled the engine to accomplish two necessary functions at the same time, producing sufficient electrical power to power several peripheral devices while maintaining its inbuilt momentum through self-sustenance. Thermal management and acoustic signature. Arguably, the most noteworthy aspect of the Liberty Engine 2.0's design had to do with its sophisticated thermal management system. Through the tactical application of a specially designed rotor alloy, in combination with new coil configurations that are sealed with resin, the engineers were able to successfully minimize heat generation while optimizing the energy conversion efficiency. The new design approach resulted in extremely low thermal buildup, thereby eliminating the possibility of overheating issues associated with conventional power generation systems. The acoustic signature of the engine was another design optimization standout. Unlike common power generation equipment, which produces obnoxious mechanical noises in the form of clattering belt drives and screaming motor whine, the Liberty Engine 2.0 operated with unprecedented silence. It operated on a whisper-thin, almost inaudible humming noise created through mechanical motion, creating an environment conducive to long-duration operation in virtually any environment. Transparency and disclosure of technical details. To address skepticism among various factions within the scientific community, the development team made the bold move to provide an unedited, comprehensive teardown process on high-definition videography. Comprehensive documentation painstakingly disassembled the engine into its constituent parts, providing clear evidence in the form of visual images of the internal composition. The deliberate exposure of all the structural elements served to conclusively establish the absence of any concealed power storage units or deceptive mechanisms, establishing absolute proof of the authenticity of the engine. So, what happens when the veil is lifted? When every wire, every coil, every screw is laid bare for the world to see? The critics lean in closer, only to find no tricks, no hidden fuel, just raw potential. But what comes next may rewrite the blueprint of power itself. Future implications and development potential. Though there remain skeptics within the scientific community regarding the long-term working viability of the engine, along with potential scalability for home use, empirical evidence collected from early trials provides strong validation of its working efficiency. With this groundbreaking prototype now out of theoretical design and into practical reality, it can generate useful, usable electrical power. The designation version 2.0 has broad implications for future development directions. In light of the phenomenal success achieved with this midlife version, speculation regarding generations of the technology to come promises radically transformative innovations in the global energy paradigm. With the globe poised on the brink of this revolutionary technology, the potential for further developing versions holds unprecedented levels of innovation and development in clean energy generation. The future of free energy. Liberty Engine 2.0 is revolutionary technology, even though it is a release candidate. Being an innovative prototype, it has the ability to completely transform the entire energy sector. Picture the new world with household power as the norm. Each and every home would generate electricity independently, and power blackouts and twice-yearly pleas would be a thing of the past. To that end, areas would not be risking vulnerable grid infrastructure. Instead, they would be taking on a method of clean, quiet, and renewable electricity to order. This revolutionary technology holds tremendous promise for far-flung villages, disaster zones, and even space missions. Such a system holds the natural potential to fundamentally change our worldview regarding energy utilization and distribution. Yet, groundbreaking innovations of this kind are few and far between and never come with minimal difficulty. They call for monumental support and take courageous and visionary individuals who are willing to push the boundaries and question run-of-the-mill thinking about alternative realities. The Liberty Engine 2.0 development team remains at the cutting edge of engineering excellence. Their work continues with the finding of better quality alloy combinations, the development of more powerful magnetic sets, and the pursuit of continually smaller architectural schemes. With the application of the ideology of open-sourced collaboration, common knowledge bases, and rigorous real-world testing, this thought framework has great potential for expansion as a functional home solution. Aside from the immediate economic benefits, it's important to consider the broader implications of this technology. Its effect goes far beyond mere economic gain. On the most basic level, this technology, one step closer, brings human society to energy independence, freedom from fossil fuel dictatorships and 100-year-old power cartels. It can bring about a day when energy is clean, abundant, and owned by private individuals and not corporate power. The central question that surrounds this technology goes beyond its functionality for operation. Rather, it is mankind's readiness to embrace this paradigm shift. What we are observing today transcends the realm of mere mechanisms. It is an expression of power and an evocative reminder that scientific frontiers exist more as problems to be solved. The Liberty Engine 2.0 is only one among hundreds of attempts down the years, but it carries on the relentless passion of every visionary inventor who has ever had the courage to challenge established wisdom and innovate outside perceived boundaries. Whether or not this invention itself is a worldwide revolution or an isolated act of inspiration, it succeeds in doing its share by encouraging us to question, explore, and innovate again. The promise of free, accessible energy is a great promise. If this becomes true, the tomorrow of invention will not be left at the factory production lines, but instead, it will flourish in back garages and community centers, guided by those who do not believe in accepting the status quo. You can be one of these pioneers, among the visionaries who will shape the future of tomorrow's tech. See you in the next one. Ciao.